Hi friends, welcome to SNCA Study Club, a platform for CA final students. Hello dears, so here we are starting with our professional ethics. I am here only describing or explaining what is important to your exam point of view and nothing included extra, okay? That is only what is included in our exam point of view, that is I am discussing here, not any other matters or other things, okay? So we know that our accounting profession have some objective. So in order to attain that objective, professional accountant, suppose he is the professional accountant Mr. X, that is a practicing chartered accountant or a chartered accountant. Professional accountant have to comply with what? Some fundamental principles or some prerequisites. So these has to be followed by what? A professional accountant. So accounting profession have some objectives. In order to achieve that objective, professional accountant have to comply with, or they have to follow some fundamental principles. So here we are determining, or here we are describing what are that fundamental principles that facilitate to achieve the objectives of accounting profession. The first one is integrity. We know that in essay 200 we have to study what the meaning of integrity. Here we are explaining why integrity to be followed by a professional accountant so as to ensure the objectives of accounting profession. It is stating that integrity, that is fundamental, section 110. Section 110 is providing with respect of integrity, which is stating that the fundamental principle of integrity imposes a responsibility on the professional accountant that he should be straightforward and honest while doing his professional or business function. So it is stating that a chartered accountant X has to be honest and have to be straightforward doing his function. That is, while expressing an opinion on the financial statement, he have to be honest, or while making any certification or any other works, he have to be honest and straightforward when this is required during his professional or business function. So fundamental principle of integrity imposes a responsibility on the professional accountant that he has to be honest and he has to be straightforward during his professional function or professional business. Then objectivity. This is another fundamental principle. What is mean by, or what is included in this objectivity? Objectivity is also a fundamental accounting principle that is to be followed by by professional accountant in order to attain the objectives of accounting profession. Which is stating that fundamental principle of objectivity imposes a responsibility on the professional accountant that he don't compromise with profession because of any conflict, bias or undue interest when we perform our function. We know that there may exist something that may create a pressure on us, that pressure that you don't do that thing, you don't this thing, you have to do in this way, you have to obey us, etc. So while a professional chartered accountant doing his function, he may also require to face such situations. So in that cases, he shall not compromise with his profession. That is, suppose Mr. X, practicing chartered accountant. He is Mr. X, a practicing chartered accountant. He has been appointed as an auditor of ABC Limited. He has been appointed as an auditor of ABC Limited. He is examining the financial statement. And at last, while expressing an opinion, he is required to express what opinion? The management told him that actually we are mainly focusing on business, that is to make more and more profit. We have a lot of profit, we have to increase our market acceptance, or we have to create more and more users to our business. So you may find something wrong within our financial statement, but you don't disclose the same thing. So he may be biased with this statement or with this opinion which has been provided by ABC Limited. It may create a bias, or it may be because of any conflict. Anything may happen, or undue interest. That is, they told Mr. X that if you do this way, we will give you something extra, which is more than the audit fee. Then X is having some undue interest. So anything may happen. X, that is the practicing chartered accountant function or business, he during his business or function, he shall not compromise with his business or profession. Compromising is not allowed, especially because of bias, conflict or any undue interest. Okay. So fundamental principle of objectivity imposing a responsibility on the professional accountant that he should not compromise with his profession because of any bias, undue interest or conflict of interest during his business or profession. This is provided in what? Fundamental principle of objectivity. So all these fundamental principles have to be followed by a practicing chartered accountant or a professional accountant. He may whether in practice or not in practice. Okay. Then next is what? Professional competence. Section 130. It is stating that professional accountant have to obtain some professional skill. Professional skill. He should have professional skill, and at the same time he have to use this professional skill during his function or during his profession or business. Otherwise, objective of our accounting profession shall not be attainable. Really sorry friends. So how can a professional accountant obtain that professional skill? We know that our institute is conducting exams, that is foundation, that is the CPT exam, inter exam, and last one is the final exam. In between this, we have to follow, or we have to attend some seminars, GMCS, orientation courses, ITT. Then our institute again announced that a practical exam will be applicable to the articles in order to check their professional skill. So why institute is conducting all these programs? To make the student professionally capable. Then only that student will be able to become the member of institute. Once he obtain the membership, he is having what? The professional skill. So while doing the business function or profession, he have to use this professional skill. This is stating that the fundamental principle of professional competence imposing a responsibility on the professional accountant that he should exercise professional skill during his business or profession. Okay. Then Section 140, confidentiality. Actually they have essay 200 to understand more with respect of this confidentiality, which is mainly stating that what is with Mr. X that shall not be disclosed to Y without X client permission, or what? Unless the law or regulation gives that permission, which is stating that suppose X is a student at classroom. His friend is Y. Y's friend is Z. Z friend is K. Y said something to X which is very confidential with respect of Y. But X, the main weakness of X was he is not able to keep the secrets. What he done? He directly told the same thing to K, actually who is not her friend with Y. So the confidentiality stating that this shall not be happen in accounting profession. Personally, it may happen, it may not happen, especially with respect of girls. Very difficult to keep secrecies, right? Right, girls? Okay. So this stating that fundamental principle of confidentiality impose a responsibility on professional accountant. That is, in this case, we are taking the example of X, that he shall not disclose any information acquired in the course of his professional work. That is, shall not disclose any confidential information without the permission of the client, or sometimes client give the permission, yeah, you can disclose the same, or law or regulation may require X to give that information with respect of the client. Unless such a requirement exists or unless such a permission is given by the client, X is not allowed to make the disclosure of the same. Then professional behavior. What is the meaning of this professional behavior? It is mainly stating that we know that in India they have many laws, acts, laws, rules. These have to be followed by every citizen. But when this citizen become X, that is a professional accountant, some more rules or acts will be applicable to that X. So X, that is the practicing chartered accountant, shall comply with all acts, rules, laws, etc. Laws, regulations, etc. And plus at the same time he shall not disrepute our profession. Disrepute our profession, which is mainly stating that the fundamental principle of professional behavior imposing a responsibility on the professional accountant that he has to comply with all the laws, regulations, plus he shall not disrepute our profession. Disrepute, not only in professional or technical capacity, that is not only due to some works which is done in his technical capacity. They may have several situations which has been done by him which is disreputing our profession, which has been done in the professional capacity. The work may not be in technical nature. So, example, he has given what? A check. But the same check has been dishonored because of insufficiency of funds. So, he is disreputing our profession. Or, he is involved in smuggling or that kind of business. He is disreputing our profession. Or, he is using the work of article in his in his personal matters or in his personal works. It also disreputing our profession. He is raping a girl, disreputing our profession. Okay, so the section 150 professional behavior, this is also a fundamental principle that is to be followed by a chartered accountant, that is a professional accountant, which is imposing a responsibility on the professional accountant that he shall comply with all rules and regulations and he shall not disrepute our profession. So what we studied in this session, which is mainly stating that accounting profession have some objectives. Such objectives are section 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. Why we have to follow this objective? Accounting profession have some objectives. I have made a mistake. Okay. So accounting profession has some objectives. Professional accountant have to attain these objectives. For the purpose of attaining this objective, they have to comply with this fundamental principle. They have to follow this fundamental principle. Section 110 integrity, 120 objectivity, 130 professional competence, 140 confidentiality, 150 professional behavior. Integrity stating that he has to be straightforward and honest. Objectivity stating that he should not compromise with his profession. Professional competence, exercise professional skill during his professional functions or business function. Confidentiality, shall not disclose any confidential information unless otherwise clients give the permission or as per the requirements of any law or regulation. Professional behavior, he should comply with laws and regulations and he shall not disrepute our profession or our institute. That has been stated in these fundamental principles. This has to be compulsorily followed by or mandatorily followed by a professional accountant so as to meet the objectives or so as to attain the objectives of accounting profession.